I recently had one of my shorts go viral. It's had 7.7 million views, and you're probably thinking that that's pretty amazing. You'd be wrong. Do you know what the most commented thing is on that video? Yep. And that makes me feel absolutely fantastic. But rather than sitting about and moping about it, I'm going to prove everyone wrong and challenge AI to an art off. Let's see who can make the best art. Alright, let's go, let's do this. Before we start the challenge, we're going to need a theme, so that those two are creating something similar that we can compare. I think we're going to go with a wolf because wolves are cool, and to give each team a fighting chance, we're going to do it slightly realistic with some hints of abstract in there. And that abstraction could be with colour, could be with texture, could be with brushstrokes. We'll leave it up to each of the me's. I just showed Amber the intro to the video, and she said I should have gone with doing a wolf because that's what the short was about. And well, yeah, that's better, so we're going to go with that. So to kick off the challenge, both me's need to start by generating an idea. For the AI me, that's really simple. It's as easy as typing into a search engine. But for the real me, I first need to come up with a design, which means I need to sketch out some ideas. AI me chose Midjourney to work from, and all I had to do was wait for the pictures to develop and then choose one of the images that I felt best represented the brief. While AI me was doing all this, choosing the right image and then getting that image ready to print, the real me have just about finished the sketch and ready to start painting. It took me 2 days to get to this point with the painting, 2 days before I'd even started putting paint on the canvas. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But first, a little bit about my painting process. My underpainting technique has changed massively over the last few months. Instead of blocking in really dark shapes first, I'm doing very, very thin washes, almost like watercolour with the acrylics. I find this helps to create a little bit more of an interesting base to work on top of, and it also keeps my paintings looking a little bit brighter in those final layers, because I'm not fighting to bring them back from those really, really dark initial underpainting layers that I used to do. This is where we are so far. The first day I spent finding reference photos, and that took so long. The second day I tried to get a composition down, so I did the little sketch, which you saw, and then I decided on the third day that I did not like that composition, that square composition, and had to restart it all on this longer composition, which I believe is 12 inches by 16 inches, and I prefer that so much more. And then in the evening I put a little wash over the wolf, and now we're going to start properly painting it on what is now day 4 on this piece. AI me didn't have an easy time of it either. After pressing print and coming over to the printer, it wasn't working. Yeah, have I not done something there? AI me is an idiot, apparently. All technical issues aside, I'm just waiting for the printer to work. It took about 15 minutes from designing the image to get to the finished picture. Meanwhile, the real me was slaving away over the painting, slowly building up the form of the wolf, layer by layer, section by section. I started with the face and then started to move towards the rest of the body. One thing that I learned from this painting is how much I missed using my Stay Wet palette. For some reason with this piece I decided I wanted to keep it with a limited palette and use my glass palette, but I've got so used to the Stay Wet palette, I really miss it when I'm not using it. I can't even begin to tell you how much my process has improved since I've started using the Stay Wet palette. I've not tried it with oils yet, but for acrylics, it has been a complete game changer for me and for Amber. I actually really struggled with the creation of this piece, and I am blaming my palettes for that. It wasn't the only thing, it was mostly me just being lazy, but this piece just took ages to come together the way that I wanted it to, but I just know my AI counterpart was having a horrible time too. Or not. I'm 5 days into this piece now, and it's just getting more and more difficult as I'm starting to get more and more refined with the brushwork. I realised that the theme for this challenge was to add a little bit of an abstract element to the painting, and the way that I'm doing that in my paintings at the moment is by using palette knives to add some texture to the background and to the subjects themselves. I'm still trying to get the hang of this, so my technique at the moment is do what I know and paint the realism, and then try and knock it all back with the palette knife. Not everywhere, but just in some of the areas that I don't want anyone to be paying that much attention to. I'm keeping my areas of interest, the focal points quite real and quite detailed, and everything else is sort of blending into these abstract textured marks. I am very new at using a palette knife like this, and one of the things that I'm trying to work towards is being able to use this palette knife technique as I'm painting, not after I've done all the realism. So I can work the realism into the textured marks at the same time, rather than doing them one after the other. I think it's about confidence, the confidence to be able to do this, and also the confidence to be able to put out enough paint to do this. Because one thing that I've noticed about trying to do these more textured paintings is you cannot be shy with the amount of paint that you use. And I am tight, like moths flying out your wallet tight. So I don't want to be using large quantities of paint. But I think just using up and wasting large quantities of paint is something that I'm just going to have to get over if I'm going to continue down this path for these textured, slightly more abstract paintings. And even though they are difficult and they are challenging, I'm really enjoying the challenge. Right, let's go see who wins. Well, honestly, I think I can just throw this one away. The AI art was so much better, so much quicker, and you know what? I think I'm going to try and use AI more in my daily life. Amber, will you make us a brew, please? Oh, thank you. Amber, can you chuck me some bog roll, please? Amber, what would you like for dinner? Amber? I hope you've enjoyed the video. It has been a little bit different to what I would usually put out there, so if you've enjoyed it, please do let me know. And if you didn't enjoy it, please also let me know, and I will never ever do something like this again. Amber wasn't best pleased about the toilet roll sketch, and you should have seen us trying to work out the balloon bit. In all seriousness, though, AI is probably not going to replace artists in the future. AI, for me, cannot create, it can only recreate. Whereas artists are capable of creating things from their imagination, which AI is not able to do at all. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what I'm doing with my new painting technique, then check out this video right here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.